Okay, so I'm going to be doing a video series called Baby's First Year, which I'm kind of doing as a video diary kind of thing. Basically just to keep track of the things my daughter does each month, the things she learns, from learning to roll over, sit up, talk, walk, all that good stuff. And this is going to be month one. She is now over a month old. So she was born January 18th, 2015. She was 6 pounds, 14 ounces, and 19 inches long. I had, well, I would say traumatic birthing experience. Well, I don't handle pain very well, so I wanted an epidural. So once I got into active labor, I received the epidural, and then I sort of passed out and slept for at least an hour or so. And then when I woke up, they turned my epidural down so that I could start to feel the pain just a little bit, so I'd know where to push, because I couldn't really feel the muscles down there. It was hard to tell when to push. And so I did that for a while, and they brought my nurse midwife in, and I was having trouble. She got down there, they could see her head and her hair and everything like that, but she got stuck. And finally, after all of that, when they were about to evaluate me for C-section, she finally came. She was born. I believe it was about 5:13 in the evening, and they broke my water at 8 a.m. that morning, so it took a little bit of time. But I'm here to talk about baby. So she was born with a good full head of hair, but she has recently started going bald, and where she rubs her head a lot, she's lost her hair. She was a lot smaller than we knew she'd be maybe about 7 pounds, and she was 6 pounds 14 ounces. So she was pretty tiny baby. So, and all the clothes that we had received were 0 to 3 months for her. So a good bit of my family went out and brought her some newborn clothes, which actually she's still wearing now, even after she's a month old. So she's still not that big. But this was the first little outfit we put her in. Our first day in the hospital together, recovering. It's just a little cute little pink polka dot outfit. And that's when she got to meet all my family. Everybody came to visit her, and she had her cute little outfit on. I didn't have too much trouble dressing her, because I knew she's delicate because she's a baby, but she's not super fragile, so it wasn't a big deal. But I love pink, and she was a girl, so I had to put her in some pink. And when I had saw this blanket, and it was on sale, so I got it, and this is what it was. This is the blanket I took to the hospital, and she took her newborn pictures with. And it has a soft inside. Well, now it's kind of melted from the dryer, but it used to be really soft. But this is the first blanket we ever wrapped her up in that was ours, and it's the one we brought her home with. And we stayed in the hospital a total of 2 days. The reason I wasn't even due to have her till January 20th, and the reason I was in the hospital, they induced me, and it was because of my high blood pressure. My blood pressure was inverted. It was really majorly high, so they were keeping me in there an extra day to make sure that my blood pressure was normal, and everything else with me was normal before they let me go home. And so we brought her home, and we actually live about 2 hours from the hospital. So we were staying with my mom right after we came home, because she lives only 20 minutes from the hospital. We planned to stay with her for a week, but right as me, my daughter, and her father were about to go home, I got sick. We're really not sure what happened, if it was some sort of infection or whatever, but at 8 days old, the baby was 8 days old, and I had to go back into the hospital, and I was there. I went in on a Monday afternoon, and I was there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I get to go home Thursday. So I had scheduled, the baby, she stayed with my mother, and she watched her. And then I had to schedule a doctor's appointment for that next coming week to make sure I was okay. And then the baby had her first, or it was her second doctor's appointment, because she was so tiny. She lost a lot of weight. So we ended up staying, me and the baby ended up staying 2 extra weeks with my mother. So that was that. And the baby, within the first month, she was already trying to roll over. She was really ambitious when she came out. She still didn't quite understand what to do with her one arm, but boy, she learned right away, I mean, day 2 or 3, that she could fling her head around and she wanted to lay on her side. Because in the hospital they'd always have me put her on her back, and they told me that she needed to sleep on her back. So I'd put her on there, and then she'd fling her head around and she wanted to sleep on her side. So she's been rolling over to her side since she was 2 days old. And about 3 weeks old, if you hold her up on your chest, like up against your shoulder, and you put your hands under her, she would start pushing off with her legs. She kind of reminded me of a frog, you know, kind of bouncing. It's funny. And right as she was about to turn a month old, she started to want to hold things and grab them. If my hair would get close to her, she'd reach out and grab it and hold it as tight as she could, you know, and start kind of, you know, wanting to reach for your clothing if she was close to you and such. And when she was about 5 weeks old, I started looking into cloth diapering. I thought that might be something I would want to do with her. She had started to get diaper rash really bad, and we were having trouble finding disposable diapers that worked for her. We ended up being able to use Pampers, but Pampers sensitive, but I had looked more and more into the cloth diapering, and I got a couple and tried it out. And I actually have this is the first ever cloth diaper I put on her, and this is the settings that she had to wear it on, the smallest, because she was still really tiny. It's a Kauai, the little label, and it's a Goodnight Heavy Wetter. She still wears it currently, but she has to have the sizing just a little bit bigger, because I double stuff it now where she wets a little bit heavier. But so far I'm really enjoying cloth diapering her. I started full-time cloth diapering her at close to about when she was about a month old, and have continued cloth diapering her till now. And through these videos I'll keep updating about how she's doing with the cloth diapering, and if I've continued and what's going on with that. But everything went good. She had 2 doctor's appointments within that first month. The first one, they were worried about her weight. I was having trouble breastfeeding her, and so I wasn't getting stimulated enough, so my milk wasn't coming in. So I just started pumping so I would get him stimulated, and then I just started feeding her with a bottle, and that was working pretty good. By the next doctor's appointment, she had gotten back to 6 pounds 10 ounces, so they were happy with that. So I was able to make her next doctor's appointment when she was just over 2 months old. So I'll update about that in month 3 probably. So when she left the hospital, I believe she was just over 6 pounds. So she had almost lost, well, right after she would have left the hospital, she would have almost lost 6 pounds, or not 6 pounds, she would have almost lost the 14 ounces, so she would have been just about 6 pounds. And within 4 days of pumping and getting her milk, and we had to supplement with a little bit of formula because she was just fussy and she was tired and she's hungry, and you know, we just weren't getting any sleep the first couple nights because she wasn't getting what she needed. So once we got her what she needed, she settled down and she was able to gain that weight back pretty quickly, and she's doing good. She started to fill out a little bit more, and towards the end of month 1, her footy pajama, her newborn footy pajamas, started to get a little bit tight down in like near her belly probably, but they're the only ones that she could still wear, but they're the only ones she sort of started to outgrow. So she can still currently wear most all of her newborns except for the footy pajamas. So that's basically all I have to talk about for month 1. I'll be back to update when she's over 2 months old. Thank you for watching.